Hello and thank you for tuning into my video. Today I'm gonna be talking about the first time I was at the closed psychiatric department. And yeah, I hope you're gonna enjoy and please like and subscribe. So yes, first I'm gonna give you some backstory, some background story on what happened. This was when I had my psychosis, and this was before I had schizophrenia. There was before I was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and yeah, this was back in 2019 December, actually, to be exact. So yeah, a couple of days before, I had like really bad trips. I was hearing a lot of voices, and I had a lot of hallucinations and delusions, and this was really the peak of my psychosis. Hey, I remember the day before my dad drove me to the psychiatric department. This was one of the worst nights, I think, that I have ever had. And yeah, let's get into it. So, basically, I had smoked weed with some friends, and on my way home, I was just hearing voices because I was hearing a lot of voices in that period. And when I got home, it got even worse, the voices, and they really screamed at me. And I did not know what to do really. But then I looked outside of my window, and I saw my dad and my mom standing outside in the garden, and it was like really dark, like outside, and they were shaped like ghosts. So I was looking out my window, and I was seeing the shape of my mom and the shape of my dad, but it was like lightning. Like describing it like a ghost would be the most accurate because they were not really. It was not a person, of course, but they were really like kind of Slender Man ghosts, really. I was looking outside, and pretty scary, to be honest. I remember they were talking about how I was going to kill myself. So that was super, super weird to me that they were talking about that. Yeah, and also after that, I heard some other voices outside. It was people that I knew that were like bullying me. So they were saying stuff like, fuck you, and you're a loser, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? Why are people outside my window saying stuff about me like in the middle of the night? So crazy, so crazy. And so I remember I was hiding under my bed, and I called my sister. Both of my sisters I called, and one of my sisters picked up, and she was like, "Oh, bro, this is crazy. You need to calm down. Like, not like in a nice way. Like, she was like, what's going on? And I was explaining all the things that I experienced. And of course, she got very worried about me. I mean, it was really crazy, the things I was explaining. And yeah, so basically, I fell asleep so late because it was such a bad trip. I could not sleep. Like, my paranoia was sky high, and my thoughts were just running around, and the voices kept coming, and they were talking to me and about me. And I was walking outside. I was like walking around the house with a knife, actually, because I was like, who is like harassing me so much? So I was walking around with a knife because I was like scared in a paranoia state, and I was like, who is here? And not because, just to protect myself, not to, because I thought somebody was after me. So I was just protecting myself. So I took a knife and I walked around the house, and I was like, who is here? So yeah. So basically, I fell asleep at some point, and at around 1 o'clock the next day, my dad woke me up, and he said like, "Yo, we need to talk, man." And so we did, and I told him these things that I said. You were outside the window, and you talked about how I was gonna kill myself, And he said, no. And I said, well, there's a hole in the wall, and you looked also inside to my place because I also thought that he was looking inside my bedroom through the wall. And then I showed him the hole, and he said, it's like it was not a hole in the wall, it was just like a spot, of course. And so, yeah, so we drove to the psychiatric department, and yeah, so we drove there and we waited a long time for us to be the next to talk to a doctor. And I explained to the doctor everything, and I think maybe my parents also told him. I mean, they did not really know anything, so they could not really have told him too much. But I was telling them that I hear these voices and I believe this and I believe that, and I was telling all of my delusions and hallucinations, and they said, "We think it's for the best if you stay here for a while." And I was like, "Yeah, I want to do that actually. It's not that I was forced to do it because I could have said no, but my life was so insanely unlivable, you know. It was like I cannot live forever like this because every day I was hearing voices, I was having delusions, and I knew something was wrong, and it just crumbled down when I talked to my sister in the phone in the middle of the night. And so basically we were there with the doctor, and I told him about all my things, and they said, "Yeah, we think you should stay." And I was like, "Yeah, I think that's a good idea." And so I did, and my dad, I think he drove to get a lot of candy for me and some snooze. It's like nicotine pouches. So he drove somewhere to get me that, and then he came back. And yeah, this was actually the first December 2019. I was institutionalized, I guess, to the. I would not say close because yeah, basically a psychiatric department for sure. And I was there for around 1 to 2 weeks, and it I felt a lot better like after that because I really needed to get away from the weed and I needed to sleep so much. And then I came on the psychotic medicine, antipsychotic medicine, of course, and it really like helped me to like really calm down and be like, this is not normal and let's figure out what's happening. So yeah, I remember the first night I was there, some dude, he went crazy. Like outside of my door, he was like yelling and kicking and he was like screaming. And I was just in my room and I was like super paranoid about it because shit, now I'm at the psychiatric department. A dude is going crazy. I'm watching a horror movie as well. So it was like, damn, this is crazy. But it was basically like a super okay experience beside the dude that went nuts in the middle of the night. I had really great food. I had turkey. I remember the turkey was so good. And I had my candy and I just had my computer. I was at the on the casino and I was watching movies and I was on the medicine, and it was like not too bad, to be honest. I really needed that. Like I needed to calm down. And of course the casino did not go well, but that's just how it is, right? Don't go to the casino, guys. I tell ya, not a good idea. But yeah, so that was basically my 1 to 2 weeks there, watching horror movies, eating candy, getting fat, going on the antipsychotic medicine, and yeah, it was good food. And unfortunately, I did not stop smoking weed, even though I should have. I kept smoking weed, and it kept getting worse, my psychosis. But that's a story for another video. Overall, I had a great experience at the psychiatric department. My part one. This is the first place I was to. I will make a part 2 on the other place I went to as well. Yeah. So, thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.